State your name, sir.
Mr. Fox, before the court trial of possession of paraphernalia and a no valid driver's license. You understand the charges?
You understand what you're charged with?
No?
No.
No. She doesn't understand. Allegedly, you had methamphetamine on or about your person, and allegedly, it may have been contained within something that qualifies, aka a clear plastic bag, that qualifies as paraphernalia in the state of Florida. And allegedly, you were operating a motor vehicle without allegedly having a driver's license. You understand that?
I understand the driver's license. Yes, sir.
Okay, well,
Possession.
I didn't say it was yours. Did I say it was yours? I said you've been charged with.
Right.
Nobody's asking if you did it. I'm just asking if you understand what the charge is.
No.
Yes or no?
No, sir.
Okay, then we'll bring you back tomorrow when you understand.
I was hoping I'm not from this state. I mean, this county. If I can just resolve everything today.
You got a parole hold. You wouldn't get out anyway.
You got nowhere to go, man. So, do you understand the charges against you or not?
I understand they charging me with it. Yes, sir.
That's all you got. See how easy that is? I don't know why do we have to go back and forth
It's
about
not
it?
easy when you're in my shoes, sir.
It's easy it's a yes or no question. Do you understand?
I don't agree to the
Nobody's
contract.
asking you to admit to anything. I just need to make sure you understand the charge.
I'm a proud citizen, sir.
I'm shocked
Under
you're
UCC focus.
Oh, UCC? Oh, I love it. A sovereign.
All right, folks, buckle up. Today we're diving into a courtroom showdown featuring 4 different sovereign citizens. Yes, 4, each clashing with judges who are clearly not here for the theatrics. From Eric Martin, the so-called resident brain donor, to a parade of chaos in Florida, Washington, and Michigan, this video has it all. Dramatic denials, courtroom theatrics, and the type of legal chaos that makes you question how these people think the law works. Stick around as we break down their absurd arguments, judge reactions, and of course, the moment that will make you laugh.
It's off the 11 o'clock calendar. Mr. Calzada, could you please turn on your video for me?
Yeah, hold on one second.
All right, good morning, Mr. Calzada. You're here for arraignment, so could you please tell me your full legal name?
I don't know how that has anything to do with a case. My name.
Well, Mr. Calzada, I need to confirm who you are. So could you
Here
please
I
tell me?
am.
Well,
I'm here
please tell me
physically present, right?
Mr. Calzada, could you please, what is your first name?
My first name? Well, it could be anything, right? I could change my name at will, right?
All right. I'm going to set this matter over for an in-person arraignment, and Mr. Lohr, you'll have law enforcement standing by. All right?
Well, there you are.
All right. So, Mr. Calzada, I will set this over. You will appear in person at the Bothell Municipal Court for arraignment. Mr. Calzada, I'm going to set this to December 31st at 1:30 in the Bothell Municipal Court in person. You will need to be there for arraignment, okay? So I will see you in person at the Bothell Municipal Court at that time, all right?
Looks like there's no free will then.
So
then what am I doing here then? Hold on, what am I doing here?
Well, right now you are not responding to my questions. So
Well, you're not responding to any of my I don't have a problem of answering any of your questions, but I have a couple questions first. I have to understand too. I don't understand what's going on. I don't know everything. It's not expressed. It's implied.
December 31st at 1:30 in person.
December 31st at 1:30, I'll be there.
Here we are in Florida with Mr. Fox, and immediately, the confusion is palpable. He's facing charges for possession and paraphernalia. Simple, straightforward stuff. Yet he's acting like he's been transported to an alternate legal dimension. Listen closely to the back and forth. The judge isn't asking him to admit guilt, just whether he understands the charges, and yet he struggles, dodges, and throws in UCC like it's a magic word that exempts him from reality. This is the classic sovereign citizen pattern. Misunderstandings of law, defiance masked as cleverness, and judges having to calmly, but firmly, navigate the nonsense. Watch the judge's patience here. It's both impressive and entertaining.
Judge Donna Silva on behalf of the people, P87439.
Morning, Your Honor. James Gazicki on behalf of Mr. Martin, Your Honor. I have a motion to make.
All right, go ahead.
Your Honor, I was making a motion to withdraw. I've had contact with Mr. Martin before in other matters, and there's no attorney-client communication in this matter. We're talking about different things, and there's just no way of moving forward that I could adequately represent him, Your Honor. So I'm asking to withdraw.
All right, your motion to withdraw is granted. Mr. Martin, would you like a different court-appointed attorney?
Yeah, I guess so, since he shows his willingness not to want to do his job and help me out, and he's misstating, making false statements. You're talking about there's a lack of communication. It certainly ain't on my part. I was pointing out to him relevant defenses. He just didn't want to do his job. That's clear what he made of me. So,
Mr. Martin, I have found Mr. Gazicki to be a very competent individual, a very competent attorney in many, many cases. I've seen many trials, hearings, motions, practicing in front of this court, and I find him to be very competent. If you make one more negative comment about him, I'll hold you in contempt of court. I don't do that. We don't act like this isn't the Jerry Springer show. This isn't going to be a bunch of name calling. You're going to knock it off. Knock it off, Mr. Martin. I'm done with everything you keep doing. All your little negative comments, things that you want to say about people, and you think you're the smartest person in the room and that you have some sort of special Juris Doctorate.
And oh boy, this judge is having some fun. Calling out the crap in one hand, hope in the other moment is priceless. And the fines? $5,000 for meth, $1,000 for paraphernalia, $500 for driving without a license. Notice how he blends humor with authority. That's courtroom mastery. Sovereign citizens often think theatrics will intimidate judges. But here we see that wit cuts through nonsense. And let's not forget the small reminder. Even if you think you know the law better than the court, reality has a way of slapping down those delusions. Literally, in fines and court dates.
Not hearing it. The question is this: do you want another court-appointed attorney? So you're either going to say yes, court-appointed attorney, or represent yourself. What is your answer here today? Because there's only two possible answers here. You either get another attorney, or you can represent yourself if you'd like. Or if you want to hire your own attorney, you can do that. So there's three things. Are you going to get one appointed, yourself, or retained? Those are the three possible answer choices. What are you going with?
That's another appointed one, but without.
All right, there you go. Don't need any more commentary. Don't need any more commentary about it. You have a right to remain silent. You can exercise that right now. So we're going to appoint another court-appointed attorney to you. And the individual who was here as your attorney during your trial, you seem to get along pretty well with him. You want me to reach out to see if he's available?
I don't know who you're referring to.
The guy who was here at your trial. I don't know his last name.
Oh, he's on the other trial.
Yeah, the other trial, not this case. This is the misdemeanor domestic violence case. I'm talking about your driving on a suspended license case, restricted.
Well, I mean, he did for the most part. He did. Well, I won't say for the most part. Maybe for the most part, but there's some things he didn't do neither. He should have. He didn't raise my right to travel defense. So
yes or no? Yes or no? Is he somebody that you think you can get you can communicate well with?
I guess we'll give him a try. I guess. Yeah.
Sure. All right, I'm going to appoint, or reach out and see if we can see if he's available. So let's appoint.
But now, Slayton, I have some questions for you before you move forward.
All right, so we're going to set that. We're going to set that for a hearing date, and we'll see you then.
Next stop, Bothell, and Mr. Cotta is a textbook case of denial and theatrics. Watch as he refuses to consent to the court. Classic sovereign citizen behavior, and even manages to sound like a Kermit the Frog on a Bender hybrid. The judge handles it with precision, setting dates, explaining obligations, and calmly dismantling the nonsensical arguments. The comedy comes from the disconnect between Mr. Cotta's imagined legal prowess and the reality of court procedure. Even if you're just watching for entertainment, the underlying lesson is clear. Knowing your rights doesn't include creating fictional rules for your own convenience.
And in each of those two cases, so for each of those violations, you have three possible responses to the citation. You can first admit responsibility, be assessed the fines and costs, and be done with it. You could, as a second option, admit responsibility with an explanation, hoping that the explanation would cause the court to decrease the fines and costs a little bit. Or you can deny responsibility and have your hearing. It's my understanding that as to both cases, you wished to deny responsibility. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, here's how the hearing works. First of all, I guess I should read the citation. In the case ending with the letter A, it's alleged that back on November 19th of 2024, you were over at Fountain Street near Meacham Avenue in the city of Battle Creek, and you were issued a citation for not being able to provide a proof of insurance. This is a civil infraction. If you were found responsible, all other things being equal, the court would assess $125 fines, costs, and fees. It is a 0-point ticket. And in the second case that ends with the letter B, that same date, time, and place, you were issued a citation for having an expired registration plate. That is also a civil infraction. It is also a 0-point civil infraction. If you were found responsible, all other things being equal, the court would assess $110 fines, costs, and fees. So first question, is that the ticket or the two cases that you thought you were appearing about, Mr. Williams?
It is.
Okay. And same question to you, Officer Kellums?
Yes, sir.
Very good. In every civil case, the plaintiff has the burden of proof. And in a case like this, that burden of proof is called by a preponderance of evidence.
Only question I will the laws of the U.S. Supreme Court be applicable? And the federal statutes and definitions of motor vehicle and automobile be applicable in this proceeding?
They are the state of Michigan laws that will be applicable.
Okay. The other question is, are you already not bound by U.S. Supreme Court rulings?
Every court is bound by relevant Supreme Court rulings.
Okay.
Eric Martin, the crown jewel of this compilation. Judge Slavin isn't playing around. Martin tries to nitpick, make comments about his attorney, and flaunt pseudo-legal expertise, and the judge shuts him down immediately. This is where you see the emotional intensity spike, frustration, tension, and a judge who has zero patience for charades. Notice how the judge points out Martin's lack of understanding, while still keeping the courtroom orderly. This is a perfect example of why courtroom authority exists, to prevent chaos, maintain civility, and make sure that even the loudest defiant voice doesn't derail justice.
What made you think they were expired? The wrong color and the wrong year on the plate itself, or some?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Did Mr. Williams say anything to you during the stop about having insurance or not having insurance, or anything about the tags on the plates, anything like that?
He informed me that he did not have to have insurance due to that he was traveling, and to drive a vehicle, you have to have insurance. Something regarding Supreme Court. That's about all he said.
Okay. All right. Do you want me to consider anything else at this point, Officer Kellums?
No, sir.
Okay, Mr. Williams, could you hear Officer Kellums' testimony?
Yes, I heard his testimony.
Very good. Thank you for your patience. What do I need to know, sir?
Okay, I did inform Officer Kelly that I am not operating a motor vehicle, but I am operating an automobile. I did inform Officer Kelly of the ruling of Rodriguez v. Ray Donovan, U.S. Department of Labor, 769 Federal 2nd, 1344, where the U.S. Supreme Court's decision has ruled that all codes, rules, and regulations are for government authorities only and not for human creators. In accordance with God laws, all codes, rules, and regulations are unconstitutional and lacking due process.
All right, I'm going to interrupt you just for a second. Are you telling me that a case at 769 Fed 2nd, 1344 indicates that all laws are unconstitutional?
All codes, rules, and regulations. Yes, sir. Rodriguez v. Ray Donovan. And if I'm not mistaken.
And you said that was Department of what?
U.S. Department of Labor.
Okay. U.S. Department of Labor doesn't publish decisions in the Fed 2nd. Can you tell me a little bit more about the case? What was that issue in the case?
It was regarding what we're discussing here, the requirements of a driver's license and the need when it's required to have one, stating that when you're not operating commerce, to which I informed the officer that I am not operating commerce as stated in USC 18 USCA 31 paragraph A6 states that a motor vehicle, the term of motor vehicle meaning every description of carriage, convenience, propelled or drawn or mechanical powered and used for commercial purposes. This is what Title 18 USCA Section 31A6.
Here's the kicker. Martin keeps debating the competence of his court-appointed attorney. The judge lays it out in crystal clear terms. You either take the attorney, represent yourself, or hire your own. That's it. Sovereign citizens often think dragging out procedural arguments gives them leverage, but the court isn't negotiating theater. It's law. The humor here is subtle. The courtroom is calm, professional, yet Martin's self-importance is glaring. Watch the judge's face, watch the patience, and watch reality slowly crush these delusions. Legal reality always wins, even when theatrics make it feel like a soap opera moment.
The application of 18 USC 31A6 and 769 F 2nd or Fed 2nd 1344.
Okay, well, I see what
I've heard your argument.
So there will be no further arguments because I see that you're not going to agree to, because like I said, I've given it to you, the cases where they're like Shapiro v. Thompson, where the U.S. Supreme Court has said that a driver license is not a requirement, that you're trying to convert a right into a privilege, to which is covered by Article 1, Section 8.
I'll ask you this. Is that right, the right to travel?
That is a right to travel, convey, however you want it, by the U.S. Constitution.
What you just told me was that somehow but regardless, am trying to convert a right into a privilege. Now, the question I have for you is, what right has been converted to a privilege?
My right to freely travel unencumbered and unfettered.
I will ask you this. How is your right to travel removed by receiving the citation?
By trying to require me to have a license to operate a automobile, which is my private vehicle.
Okay. All right. Is there anything else you want me to consider, including the laws that require you to carry insurance, that require your vehicle to be registered, and require that registration to be current, do not run in violation of any right to travel under the Constitution or the United States Supreme Court decision that you have cited. In fact, Michigan courts have held that essentially the right to travel means the right for you to move from A to B, not the right for you to travel from A to B under your most convenient way. So you could walk from point A to B all you wanted. You could take a taxi or an Uber or a plane or a train or a bus. But if you wish to travel by using a motor vehicle, the Michigan laws are applicable and don't unconstitutionally interfere with the right to travel. It doesn't convert the right to travel into a privilege. You are not denied the right to travel. You may be denied the privilege of traveling via a motor vehicle that you are operating. So
Okay, so I
that
stop
is
you.
that is what the law says, and that's what I'm finding. Is there anything
Okay,
else you
so
want me to consider about that finding?
Shuttleworth v. Birmingham, U.S. 147. Do you mind telling me what the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in that?
US 147 doesn't give me the site of a case. That's an incomplete site of a case. Okay.
It was Shuttle.
And if you wish me
I
to
said
consider the case,
Shuttleworth.
why don't you tell me what was at issue in the case and what year it was decided?
I said Shuttleworth v. Birmingham, U.S. 147, 1969, where it
Okay,
says
hold
no
on. US
license.
147 is not a complete cite. The way you cite to a case is by name and then volume number and then the name of the publication and then the page number. So, for instance, when you said 769 Fed 2nd 1344, what that means is volume 769 of a book or volumes called the Federal Reporter, second edition, at page 1344. So when you're asking me about this most recent case that you've talked about.
Finally, we end in Michigan with Magistrate Heist, who faces Roosevelt Williams. The moment is almost textbook. Multiple violations, one citation, and a citizen attempting to game the system with pseudo-legal talk. Magistrate Heist doesn't flinch. He methodically explains the process, lays out the three possible responses, and ensures the defendant understands his choices. This is where education meets enforcement. Sovereign citizens may be entertaining to watch, but the court's methodical handling reinforces that law isn't optional.
They are civil infractions for a reason.
I was reading from a different case, but the case that I'm citing from states that no license necessary to drive an automobile on public highways, streets. No license is necessary. The word operator should not include any person who solely transport his own property and who transport no persons or property for hire or
Where's that
compensation.
citation from?
Okay, I just appeal it, and that way I can make sure all citations are.
That's fine. I mean, the idea is I can't look up what you're telling me, right, without a proper citation. So you can read. I mean, for all I know, and I don't mean this, I'm using a farcical example. For all I know, you're quoting the municipal court in Honolulu, Hawaii, which has no jurisdiction over Michigan.
It's
right?
understandable.
I don't know.
Okay, so I would cite Payne v. Massey, 19196 Southwest 2nd, 493, Texas, 273.
Okay. Well, and I can tell you that Texas law, a court interpreting Texas law, that decision wouldn't be controlling on a Michigan court. But that's fine. I think I understand where you're going. If you want, I don't need to consider anything else. I'm just asking you, is there anything else you want to present to me?
If you're not going to consider anything else, then we can proceed on to your ruling, of which I know you're going to find. So, and like you said, I have a right to appeal it. So
yeah, and I'm willing to listen. If you're going to quote something, I need to know what you're quoting, and I need a proper citation so I can look it up myself, right? Because otherwise people could just run around quoting Mickey Mouse if they wanted.
Right. Okay. So
nothing against you. So the question to you is, what else do you want me to consider at this point that you haven't yet told me?
Okay. Zobel v. Williams, 457 U.S. 55.
And why are you citing that case? What is it telling me?
Because it states that, let me see the above, blah, blah, blah. To travel unencumbered and fettered on common public way or highway, which is their right to so do.
Absolutely.
Held that the right to travel is no, sir, no.
Okay. I mean, I have no problem telling you have the right to travel. I have no problem telling you have the constitutional right to travel. All citizens do. No doubt about that.
One question. Is there a difference between a motor vehicle and an automobile? Is there a difference?
Yes. All
Okay,
automobiles
so-
are motor vehicles, but not all motor vehicles are automobiles.
Okay, so is my automobile not my private personal automobile that's not being used in commerce?
So what do we take away from today's journey through the world of sovereign citizens? First, no amount of pseudo-legal theatrics can override reality. Judges see through it immediately. Second, patience, authority, and clarity are the tools courts use to manage even the most absurd arguments. And finally, watching these cases is equal parts education and entertainment. A reminder that understanding the law is non-negotiable if you want to navigate the system successfully. If you found this case as shocking and entertaining as we did, hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.